Okay, we're back. So basically, this is the other carburetor that my extra carburetors. So I just wanted to see how these things work, just out of curiosity. This is the main, the very tip. That's the main. Okay, main. And this right here, that is your air correction. This is I believe it's a, what do you call it? 135, no, 175. So 175. I'm trying to get it out with my fingers. It's kind of hard. There we go. Yeah, so this is your air corrector. Yeah. So I'm gonna go ahead and drill these out on the ones that are on the bug. These are not, like I said, I'm not gonna touch these because these are virgin. Haven't touched these. This is more or less what I've seen on these carburetors. They're incredibly cheap. The materials that they use to build them are good. I give them a pass. I used to work in quality control, okay? So I know what I'm talking about. The quality is good. However, these Chinese, really inexpensive IDFs, if a regular individual with very minimal mechanical skills or no skills was to buy one of these, they're never going to work. They're never going to work. The reason is these are not calibrated. Okay, the technician that's putting them together, he can put them together, but they are in no way calibrating them. This is what I've determined on these Chinese carburetors. But other than that, it's put together okay. I'm gonna say that these screws are too tight. They're probably using an impact, a small impact, a wrench, or one of them. They're too tight. Okay. So if you try to open these with the regular screwdriver, or loosen these with the regular screwdriver, you're probably gonna mess up the things right there. You're gonna be in big trouble. So what I did, I just grabbed my impact wrench. Yes, my impact wrench that has like 600 pounds of torque, for my wheels and all that shit, and even my flywheel. I've taken it off my flywheel, the big ass nuts, and just made adapters, and I took it off that way. That's the only way I was able to open this. But other than that, down here, this is where they messed up big time. I'm pretty sure they're not calibrating. These throttles on both the ones that I have in my bug were not calibrated correctly. In other words, when they were tightened, this throttle was not fully closed. Or if they were, this thing was not retracted, because it needs to be retracted when you calibrate these. Let me retract that just for visuals. Okay. You see how I retracted that away from there? Okay. Now that it's retracted, you can go ahead and loosen these. And if you pay really close attention, you're gonna see them actually go like or move or something. They're gonna move, but the throttle itself, it's gonna close more, which is gonna be it means that it's gonna completely calibrate this. So they're not doing this at the China factory. They're not doing this. Okay, so this is something you guys got to keep in mind. Well, anyways, once this thing is fully closed, go ahead and retighten these. You don't have to go Gorilla Tight. If you're angsty about them coming loose, use some blue Loctite or something. Okay, but you should be fine as long as they're more than snug, tighter than snug, but not Gorilla Tight. You should be okay. Once you do that, go ahead and observe if these things should be fully closed. Loosen the lock nut that it has right there. Loosen it, and then with the screwdriver, just make sure they're tight. Snug, actually, snug. Not tight, just snug. Both of these. Do the same thing to this side, and then tighten the nut. I'm gonna say, if you do that, your monometering you won't have to do a manometer thing unless there's something really funky. You might want to check your use the manometer. But see, I made my own vacuum ports. They go right there. Okay, if you guys don't buy, I think they're Europe. You can get them for like, I saw them as low as $5, but I tried looking for them again and I couldn't find them. I think right now they're like 20 euros. That would be about $25 or so, plus whatever shipping and handling. You're looking about $30 maybe for each, like $30, and if you're using two more on the other IDF, then that's $30. That's $120. Yeah, it's about $120 worth of things, but I made mine for shit, pennies on the dollar. It just cost me some of my time. Just watch my video. Watch my video on the making takeoff vacuum ports. Watch that video. It's not that hard. You're just gonna need an antenna. Just steal it from your old TV or something. You'll know what I'm talking about when you watch that video. Anyways, but other than that, this thing is actually very well made. Like I said, at the factory, they're not calibrating these. These are supposed to go onto a fixture where they actually measure the amount of airflow going through the throttles. And that's where they calibrate these at the factory. They're not doing that. One more thing. The jets inside, and like for example, these idle jets right here. This is an idle jet. This is an idle jet. These were not the idle jets that they stated on their product sheet. They were actually a lot smaller, which is actually a good thing, because you know, if you're running a really small engine, yeah, you want the smallest ones. But you have to drill these to the size that you need, so that is actually a good thing. They're smaller than they stated, so you know, I'm not gonna hit them with a negative point right there. Now let's go to the other stuff. These right there, the pump jet. This is the pump jet, and there's the other pump jet. Those guys were completely wrong on both carburetors. I think on one of them I had 60 and the other one was 55, and both of them were like that. So somebody's not paying attention. Somebody is mixing parts somewhere in there, so don't trust them. However, the pump inside, the actual pump valve, was what they stated. What else did they screw up on that I remember? I think that's pretty much it. They're really good quality. However, assembly quality, oh boy. Yeah, that's where your skills as a DIY mechanic really comes in. I'm not going to say that you need to be an expert to work on these, because you don't. I'm not. I figured it out. But then again, I can visualize everything in my head. Yeah, I've been doing that since I was like 5 years old. I don't know how I do that. I just do. I just visualize stuff. You can visualize it from whatever angle. It's like a video in my head. It just plays over and over and over and over. That I just figure out stuff like that way. Yeah, I don't know how I do that. I just do. Anyways, yeah. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and take the IDF, not the IDFs, these guys, so I can drill this air jet. This is the air jet that I have like 2 sizes small. I'm gonna go up to, everything I've read says 200. I should be running 200, and that's actually the size that they recommend from the factory, because I got a piece of paper from the factory that said, I was able to download that page anyways, and it says that I should be running 200s, and this is 175. The bigger this air correction jet, the sooner the mains hit. The smaller, the more retarded, or the later that the main jets hit. And that's right now, that's my problem. You know, if I just follow the throttle as with the RPM, no problem. However, if I go a little past the ahead of the engine RPM on my throttle, it'll go blah. Yeah, it's this. So I'm gonna go to 200. It should work. If not, the hell with it. I'll just solder it shut and then re-drill it to a smaller size. It's no big deal to me. It's like 5 minutes of my work. Yeah, let's go ahead and remove that stuff over there in my car. Alright, just got these two out of there. You see they're not on there anymore. Anyways, but before we do this, I actually have to go check the battery for the GTI. I gotta check the OCV. The OCV on the battery to see if it's good or bad. So let's go and check the battery real quick. I just got it real quick. It only takes a second. So this is how you check the OCV on batteries. Really, it's not that difficult. So basically, if your battery is suspect, it lost power for whatever reason, yada 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 yada, you recharge it with your charger. You disconnect it. You let it sit overnight. Okay. Next day, remember it's disconnected. You come in and probe it, and your voltage should be somewhere around 1280, no less than 1250. But normally it should be like 1280 to 1290, and that's how you know if you got a really good battery, higher voltage. And there you go. This is a good battery. I don't understand why it lost that voltage. What I'm thinking is that this battery was not fully formed at the factory, because I used to work in batteries also. I know how these things are made. As a matter of fact, I used to run a machine that makes the internal plates for batteries, so I know how they're formed and all that stuff. How they put them in a huge humid room, and they turn up the heat, and that's how they dry them, and blah 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 blah. Yeah, who cares? It's not even important. I don't think this battery was fully formed, and now it is. With that fully discharging it and then recharging it, that fully formed all the plates inside. What does that even mean? Trust me, I know what I'm talking about. Let's just go back to drilling those jets. So this is the biggest drill that I have, actually. It says that it's a 200, but it's not a 200. It's actually a 190. There you go. It's a 195. Close enough for government work. This shouldn't be much difference. So I'm going to go ahead and use this drill to drill those puppies. And I accidentally deleted a scene where you see me drilling the correction jet. I'm not going to push it all the way in because it's hella hard to get it out. Let's see if I can get it out now. I can't get it out. Come on. Anyway, there we go. So the way I drilled it, I just grabbed that drill that I just showed you and put it on my drill. Grab some pliers, because you're never going to be able to hold it. It's going to spin in your fingers. So grab some pliers. Don't put too much pressure and mar them. You know, just basically went like that. Went through. That was it. And basically put it back together. And that was the end of that. This goes on this right here. There we go. Remember, it goes like this, right? Okay, the first one, that's your main. That's your main. This part right here is the emulsion tube. It's usually F11. Don't worry about it. Like 99% of all the IDFs, no matter what kind of engine combo you're running, generally F11 is what you want. You're almost never gonna have to change that. I said 99. I'm gonna say more like 90% of the time. You don't have to mess around with that. The air correction, the bigger it is, the sooner your main is gonna hit. So the bigger the air correction, the sooner the main is going to hit on your RPM range. Okay, that is important. It's like counterintuitive. It's like you think, but I'm putting a bigger air correction, I'm throwing more air at it, So there's gonna be less fuel in the main. But no, it's the way it's designed. It's got some funky drillings that it actually creates a suction. It helps create a suction so that the main hits quicker. So yeah, bigger means sooner. Smaller means later. So the bigger your jet, your air correction jet, the sooner your main is gonna hit. It's that simple. Okay, so basically I'm gonna go ahead and put them back. Okay, I'm gonna throw that in. As I said before, I already did this one. They're both at 195s, air corrections. They should be 200s, but I'm gonna go with that. See how that runs. So I just did that side also. So both of them, I've increased the air correction to about 195 or so. I don't have 200. That's close enough to 200. I should be able to, you know, rev the shit out of the car, you know, by stabbing the throttle and not going, puh. Anyways, I'm pretty much done. Look at how beautiful this Type 4 engine ended up being, or turning out. Yeah, I made this. I made the tin that goes all the way around. Went ahead and modified the doghouse like you wouldn't believe. All of this stuff, if you're a DIYer and enjoy doing this stuff, man, this is the project for you. If you're the kind of person that doesn't have any time but make good money, shit, pay for it. It's gonna cost you an arm and a leg, but hey, you're making money. Who cares? Anyways, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead, drive it to work, and we'll see how that runs. We'll see. I'll do a little, you know, stab on the throttle and see if it goes. We'll see what happens. So the 195's air correction did the trick. There is no stumble whatsoever. I can stab the accelerator. See, and it doesn't. It pulls really nice. Very, very nicely. Yeah. Okay. We are off. Never mind. Needs a little bit more. It did it again, but it did it when I really went open. Okay, 200s coming right up. Woohoo! It did improve though. All right, this is where I sign off because I got to drive. We are here. Engine sounds really, really good. I like it. I like it. I freaking like it. Forgot, I got a freaking stinger missile. Stinger missile. Stinger missile, right, a stinger missile. I think I might be so close to sending it back up. So I gotta think about that stupid muffler so that I don't hit my door when I bring it down. My garage door. Okay. That was a nice trip. Yeah, I'm not gonna do anything to the jets. I'm gonna get my velocity stacks first. I'm gonna build my velocity stacks, or I'm gonna buy them. I don't know what I'm gonna do. Let's see what happens. I have a feeling I'll probably build them just because I get bored easy. Yeah, so I think I'm gonna make my own velocity stacks. I know I can get them at CB Performance for like $7, you know, plus tax and shipping and handling, all that stuff. It's like times 4. That's like $28 plus shipping and the handling and tax. Let's just call it about $35 to $40 for the new velocity stacks. You know, just for the hell of it, because I like to create. That's just who I am. I want to see if I have anything that'll work. This is probably too big. That's probably too small. Probably too big. Let me try this one. See what happens. I think it's too big. I could be wrong. Yeah, still dropping stuff. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Oh my God. That's the exact size. What are the odds of that? What size is this? Oh my God. It's very hard to see because of the glare. I'm gonna bring it down here. There you go. It's 1 7/8 ID tailpipe. Yeah, this was for a project that I was doing on the GTI, and I realized I got the wrong ID, wrong size. I needed a 2-inch, and I screwed up. Well, this is gonna work for me. Anyways, yeah, look at that. It's exactly the size. If I go a little bit that way, it goes to the edge. It goes to the edge. See, whoop, goes to the edge. Look at that. If I go a little bit this way, same thing. Perfect. It was like it was meant to be. There you go. Okay, so watch for this video. I am going to make it because I actually have the material to do it with. So I'll just weld a little tab from here, you know, like a little triangle with a little hole, a little drill hole for this so it can get bolted down. Same thing on this side. I'll do the same thing. I'm going to cut them. You know, I've seen them as low as 1.9 inches short, but I think I'm just going to go 2 inches tall. Now, from what I've read, it doesn't have to have that flare unless you're like really running really high horsepower, high flowing heads, you know, some 200 plus monsters, you know, 200 horsepower monsters. This is a bone stocker, so I'm barely be making like 100, 110 horses with these IDFs. So I don't think I really need that flare or the trumpet, you know, the trumpet effect on the top. So I'm going to go with this just straight because I know CB Performance sells a plate that is 1 inch tall and it doesn't have a flare. So I should be fine with no flare. That's just a little straight. Yeah, I'm going to do that. 2 inches tall. I'm going to cut 4 of them. No, actually, I'm going to cut 8 of them because I have 2 more. Okay, anyways, that's pretty much it. Adios, muchachos.